In a move that has sent shockwaves through the media landscape, three industry giants, Fox Corporation, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Disney's ESPN, announced that they are joining forces to create a game-changer sports streaming service. This streaming service promises the very best content from all the major leagues, bundled together in one package. It will be available to Max, Hulu, and Disney Plus subscribers as part of a bundle, marking a deal that will completely transform how we watch sports. Each of the companies will have an equal stake in this new venture, which is expected to debut in the fall of this year. Companies that offer traditional cable packages, which have been the go-to for sports fans, might be feeling a little nervous right now because this new streaming service could be the cable killer they've been dreading. In fact, analysts predict that this streaming service will grab a whopping 55% share of US sports rights. In this video, we'll explore everything we know about this new service so far, speculate about its pricing, and discuss the risks facing the three companies in their quest to monopolize all US sports content. In the end, we're going to talk about how this launch could affect each company's stock, so don't miss out. Welcome back to PST Markets. If you're a sports fan, then this new streaming app might be a dream come true. Unfortunately, we don't know its name yet, but we do know that it will be offered directly to consumers who will be able to stream all of these companies' sports content. Notably, everything that will be streamed on this new app will be sports content that's already available if you pay for cable on ESPN, Fox, or the Turner channels from Warner Brothers Discovery. The new service will put all of that in one place, increasing the choices available for fans who don't want to pay for multiple cable packages by providing them with a new sports-centric service. The deal for this joint venture, which is internally dubbed Raptor, emerged after talks that started about 4 months ago when Disney CEO Bob Iger reached out to Fox CEO Lachlan Murdoch, who in turn reached out to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. Disney likely reached out to Fox first, since Fox and ESPN already have a partnership in Australia where ESPN content airs on Foxtel. According to people familiar with the matter, a CEO for this joint venture is expected to be named in a few weeks. Additionally, there are speculations that the subscription will be around $30 a month, which is fairly high for a streaming service, but still significantly lower than the typical cable bundle, which often can run north of $100 a month. For a really long time, sports has been the key attraction of cable, and it quickly became the glue holding the old-school bundle together when entertainment streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video became popular. If you remove sports from cable, it could be the final nail in the coffin. So this deal is an important milestone in the growth of the streaming industry and could very much be the end of cable TV. But why are these companies shifting their bets to the streaming world? Media companies have been hesitant to offer their most valuable sports content, like the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB outside the traditional high-price cable package, and this has made watching sports exclusively on streaming platforms seem very unlikely. But now, more and more people are abandoning cable every day. In fact, the share of US households without a traditional cable subscription is expected to increase to 75% by the end of 2025. So the three companies in this deal are simply seeing the writing on the wall and shifting their focus to the streaming world, as the creation of the new venture shows. But what does that mean for each of them? For Disney, this partnership is just an addition to a long list of strategic options the company has explored for ESPN. You might remember that in mid-January, Disney was reported to be in talks with the NFL for a partnership in which the NFL would acquire a stake in ESPN and Disney would acquire rights to NFL media in return. The news of this new sports streaming app doesn't mean ESPN's talks with the NFL will end, as Disney made it clear that it's still looking for a potential partner or investor and will maintain a plan to offer a standalone ESPN streaming app for those who don't want the all-in-one bundle from the three companies. Disney is likely approaching the situation carefully as it knows all too well the perils of a joint venture in the media industry, since it's now in the middle of trying to end its joint ownership of Hulu by buying out its partner Comcast. This process has been going on for 5 years. As for Fox and Warner Brothers, the two companies have been looking for different ways to monetize the content they have, so this is another avenue of doing that. And it's especially important for Fox, which currently has no subscription-based streaming service. This deal could also be a direct response to the strong competition from other streaming services that are getting into sports. For example, Apple TV Plus signed an $85 million 7-year deal with the MLB for rights to a slice of the baseball season back in 2022. Comcast's Peacock had exclusive rights to some NFL games this season, including a highly anticipated NFL playoff game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, which drew a massive 23 million viewers, making it the most streamed US event ever. What's certain is that the three companies will make tons of money if this joint venture is successful. Sports content is the most expensive content for them to provide due to the high licensing fees. For example, ESPN is currently negotiating over NBA media rights, hoping to extend them into the 2030s. But there is talk that ESPN might walk away from the deal, as the NBA is seeking a combined $50 billion to $75 billion for its next long-term cycle of media rights. That is double or triple the payout from its current 9-year deals that pay a combined $24 billion, or $2.6 billion a year, through the 2024-25 season. So suppose you break sports apart from a cable bundle and make it stand on its own. In that case, the companies will be able to transfer these costs straight to consumers by raising the subscription fee for a streaming service, which is why so many people are expecting this new app to be expensive. So it's clear why the companies want the deal to happen, but there are still some risks. The three companies said the new joint venture would add to their already existing sports offerings. Still, there's a risk of the new app eventually cannibalizing all these services, which could cost the companies a lot of money. In other words, the new app might succeed in attracting many viewers to the same place, but it could ultimately degrade the rest of the sports offerings. But you can say that the companies aren't too worried about that because their main focus when it comes to streaming profitability is the entertainment side of the business, like Disney Plus and Warner Bros. Discovery, which the sports spin-off won't impact. There's also the risk of viewers choosing not to subscribe at all since they already have access to the content on the company's other platforms, or even on competitors like NBC and CBS, especially when considering that the Super Bowl will be broadcast on CBS. If you look at it from a customer's point of view, then the partnership doesn't really solve the problem of fragmented sports media, so why would anyone subscribe? The three companies are also still rivals, which could create conflict over things like control, how much the subscription payment should be, and the strategy for managing the platform. Even though the companies said the joint venture would get an independent management team, that's still something to consider. Another thing worth considering is the possibility of the deal being blocked by the US government, as one business owning around 55% of all US sports rights could fuel fears of a monopoly. So, what does all of this mean for investors in these three companies? This shift in focus to taking sports to streaming could be very useful for media companies, especially since their studios businesses suffered in 2023 thanks to Hollywood strikes that caused them to push back the release dates for several films. Over the past 12 months, Disney stock has been down by 9.63%, Fox stock by 7.76%, and Warner Bros. Stock saw the worst performance, down by 34.61%. The three companies having the majority of all US sports rights combined would definitely help them escape these slumps, especially since the 2024 projections for the box office dipped at $8 billion from $9 billion in 2023. So the companies would have to depend a lot on streaming for profitability. Notably, Warner Bros. And Fox stocks have seen small rallies after the news, with 3% and 3.6% respectively. Disney stock, on the other hand, was down 1.1%. But this shouldn't worry investors too much, as Disney stock is up by nearly 10% this year, outperforming Fox and Warner Bros. Stocks. To conclude, the new app could be an important catalyst for the growth of these companies and the streaming industry as a whole, which could mean that the stocks provide a good investment opportunity right now. So it might be a good idea to hold these stocks if you're already an owner until we get more clarity on how the new app will be priced and marketed. Well, that is everything for now. What do you think? Will this deal happen? Will it be the final nail in the coffin for cable sports channels? Please let us know in the comments below. If you haven't, please subscribe and like this video. Your support helps us continue our work. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you in the next one.